Hello, and thanks for mathing with me today. In this video, we will be finding differences by subtracting integers. We can use a number line to find differences of integers the way we used the number line to find sums of integers in the previous video. If you didn't watch the previous video on adding integers, you might want to pause this video and try watching that one first. Just to quickly review, if we want to subtract positive numbers, we move left on the number line. When we add positive numbers, we move right on the number line. Let's try some examples using the number line to find the difference. Number 1 says 5 minus 6. Remember, the first thing we want to do is plot the first number on the number line. So the first number in our problem is 5. So we plot the point for 5 on the number line. Now we're subtracting 6, which means that we're moving left on the number line. So we're moving left 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That brings us to -1, which tells me that 5 minus 6 equals -1. In number 2, we have -4 minus 3. So the first thing we're going to do is plot the number -4 on the number line. Since we're subtracting 3, we're moving left 3 spaces on the number line. That brings us to -7. So -4 minus 3 is equal to -7. In number 3, the problem is 1 minus -3. So we start the same way. We plot our point for 1. Here's where things get a little tricky. Whenever we have a situation where we are subtracting a negative number like this actually turns into a positive. So we're actually adding here instead of subtracting a negative number. And remember, what does it mean when we add on the number line? It means that we move to the right on the number line. So if we're here at 1 and we're moving to the right 3 spaces, we go 1, 2, 3. It brings us to +4, which means that 1 minus -3, which is the same as 1 plus 3, is equal to 4. Our last problem says -4 minus -6. So we're going to plot our first number, -4, just like normal. And then we have to remember again that in this situation we have a minus -6 here. So this is going to be a plus instead. This is like -4 plus 6 if we wanted to rewrite it. So this means that we're moving to the right 6 spaces on the number line from our -4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That brings us to +2. So -4 minus -6, or -4 plus 6, is equal to +2. Your turn to try. Pause the video and try using the number line to find the difference. Oops, I had a mess up in my notes. Find the difference of the integers using the number line. Pause the video now. Hopefully you paused the video and you're able to find number 5, 8 minus 4 is equal to 4. Number 6, -3 minus 2 equals -5. Number 7, 3 minus -2 is equal to +5. And number 8, -3 minus -2, same as -3 plus 2, which equals -1. In the previous video, we used counters to find sums, and in this video, we're going to use counters to find the difference. What we need to remember is that when we have a negative number, the sign that's in front of the number makes it positive or negative. So for example, in this first number 1, we have a +5 because there's no negative in front of 5, and we have a -6 because there is a negative in front of 6. Therefore, we want to use our positive counters for 5, which is our green pluses, 3, 4, 5. And our pink circles is what we used for our negative counters. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. So we see that, remember, these add to be 0. So all of these are going to undo each other. And what we're left with is one negative counter. That means that 5 minus 6 is equal to -1. In number 2, the problem is -4 minus 3. In this case, we see that we have a -4 and we also have a -3, which means that our counters are all going to be negative counters. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. for our first integer, and we have 1, 2, 3 for our second. This tells us that our answer is going to be negative because all we have is negative counters. Nothing is going to add to 0 or undo each other. That gives us -7 for -7 counters. In number 3, we see that we have a +1, and hopefully you remember that this is the same as 1 plus 3, because a minus a negative means positive, means a plus. Therefore, we have a +3 also. So we have a +1 and a +3. That's going to give us all positive counters. So we have a +1 and a +1, 2, 3. That gives us 4 positive counters. That tells us that our answer is 4, +4. 1 minus -3 is +4. And in our last example together, we have a -4, so this is going to give us negative counters. And then we have a minus -6, which is going to give us, remember, 6 positive counters. So we have our negative counters, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have our positive counters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember that some of these undo each other. So we have 4 of them that undo each other. And what are we left with? We're left with 2 positive counters, which means that our answer is +2. So -4 minus -6, which is equal to -4 plus 6, is equal to +2. Okay, now it's your turn to try using counters to find the difference between these integers. Pause the video and try examples number 5 through 8. Hopefully you paused the video and you were able to answer 8 minus 4 equals 4. Number 6, -3 minus 2 equals -5. Number 7, 3 minus -2 or 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. And -3 minus -2 or -3 plus 2 equals -1. My hope is that in this video you were able to use counters and the number line to find the difference of integers. Thanks so much for mathing with me today.